basketball players by the Basketball Association. We have since coordinated efforts with the Guinean Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Gambia's Honorary Council in Conakry to ensure proper care and medical attention is provided to the team, while further action will be determined based on medical advice. On behalf of the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the entire government, I wish the injured speedy recovery. May Allah comfort them and their families. This statement ends. This is a developing story, and QTV will provide further updates as more information becomes available. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
We wish the basketball team a speedy recovery. Now moving on, heavy rains last weekend caused flooding in Jarra, Kunda, Lower River region, leaving some families homeless. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde visited the village and spoke with some of the victims. Here is his report.
Since its establishment many decades ago, this is the first time the community of Jarra, Kunda has experienced such devastating floods, which have affected approximately 8 compounds and 16 households. The flooding is said to have been caused by ongoing road construction connecting villages in the south to Jarra Soma, the region's busiest commercial town. With the onset of heavy rains, it is alleged that the rainwater no longer has an easy outlet. Jarra, chairman of the Village Development Committee, said the flooding have destabilized the entire village and caused serious havoc and called for swift intervention.
Calling for quick reaction. As long as they have seen it, let them come and see that there is a proper road waterways, so that it will not continue fall in the compounds within the village.
Due Jallo, who was also affected by floods last year, said he has never received any assistance, which has worsened his situation. According to him, if nothing is done about the waterways, more families will be affected before the end of the rainy season. He pleaded for urgent support.
The destruction has affected my farming activities. For the past few days, I haven't been able to go to the farm because I have been busy dealing with issues at home. Right now, what we need most is corrugated iron, wood, sand and gravel to reconstruct what have been destroyed.
Mamadou Ndao, another victim, said the building where he lived with his 3 wives and 13 children was destroyed by the floods. He also lost 3 goats, 3 bags of coos, and a bag of rice. Deja Job, Mamadou's wife, and Aissatou Bari, Due's wife, both affected, related their experiences.
I was cooking when it started raining, but soon after, my house and the entire compound were flooded. The cooking pot and other belongings began to flood, so I raised the alarm. My husband rushed out to help, and at that moment, the wall of the house collapsed. Last year, when our house collapsed during a thunderstorm, we were promised support, but we never received any. The only shelter we were given also collapsed this year. Therefore, we are still pleading for help because we have nowhere to stay.
Jarra, the Village Development Committee chairman, and Mamadou Ndao, a flood victim, said the authorities were informed about the village situation before the road construction began. They appealed for the construction of culverts to prevent future flooding. Now that the destruction has occurred, the affected victims are left wondering what the future holds. At the time of this broadcast, we have not been able to contact the company responsible. We hope to reach them for comment. For now, what is clear is that these families desperately need help. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
Unfortunate situation there. Now, Alhaji Mamadi Kurang, former Secretary General of the Janneh Commission, continued his testimony before the Special Select Committee on the sale and disposal of ex-President Jammeh's assets to provide explanations as to how the assets were sold or disposed of. Yafatu Gay has the details.
One of the major issues raised during the hearing was the auctioning of the ex-president's luxury vehicles. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang revealed that the commission only found out about the sale through a newspaper advertisement. He explained that the Ministry of Finance initiated the process without involving the Commission. Despite his efforts to seek clarification from the ministry on why vehicles under investigation were being sold, Alhaji Kurang said he never received a response.
The Commission was surprised as why those vehicles that were considered to be under investigation were being put forward for sale by the Ministry of Finance. This was in the papers. So when the commissioners discussed it, they tasked me to write to the Ministry of Finance to find out why those luxury vehicles were still or were being put forward for sale.
He expressed concern that the auction took place before investigations into the vehicle's ownership were completed. He said that maybe a separate investigation was conducted to distinguish between vehicles owned by the state and those personally owned by the former president before any sale.
Yeah, I believe at some point they would have to do that. And they would have to be constantly watching out for that, because we know that not every vehicle that the ex-president used was eventually frozen or taken over by the commission. There were some that were still in use by the government at the time.
The committee also revisited Alhaji Kurang's role in the sale of former President Jammeh's tractors. He confirmed his involvement, stating that about 500 tractors were processed. According to him, the tractors grouped into two main brands were sold through public auction. He further explained that while many were sold, some were returned to their original owners, and others were donated to various communities.
We sold a total of 43 or so tractors, and it wasn't all the tractors that were sold, because some the commission had decided to give them back to communities.
Alhaji Kurang admitted to directly participating in the sale of 43 tractors and acknowledged authorizing the sale of 2 scrap tractors below their reserve price. One of them was sold for $25,000, which was $5,000 less than its set value. He defended his decision, explaining that the cost of sending the auction team back to the site in Somita would have been higher than the loss incurred.
Exceptional valuation is or exceptional decision in relation to this asset. It was what I took. Like I said, I took responsibility for it because that was what was reasonable at that time.
The National Assembly's Special Select Committee is investigating the sale of former President Jammeh's assets to determine whether proper procedures and legal authorities were followed. Through reviewing testimonies and documents, the committee is seeking to uncover any irregularities, ensure accountability, and promote transparency in managing public resources. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafa Tugay.
On Thursday, the University of Education, formerly the Gambia College, in collaboration with King's College London, hosted an education conference at its Birkama campus on promoting multilingualism in classrooms. Lolem Kamara has more.
The Gambia College transformed into the University of Education, the Gambia, from January 1, 2025. The transformation is to enhance teacher education and produce quality educators for all levels of the Gambian education system. The event, held at the Babukar Ojuf Conference Hall in Brikama, brought together stakeholders to evaluate the results of a pilot teacher training program designed to advance mother tongue-based education, a collaborative project between Gambia College and King's College London. Aisa Tundau, Vice Principal of the University of Education, provided an overview of the pilot program, which has successfully trained over 500 student teachers in multilingual teaching methods.
The pilot was run for a whole term, and at the end of the term, we were able to have an exam, and the exam was marked by the tutors who were teaching the multilingual class, and the results were shared, which will come out as a report at the end of the pilot. It has not been an easy pilot because obviously these are new ideas, and we all understand sometimes when new ideas or new approaches come in, it's sometimes a bit difficult for people to perceive it, to understand it and to accept it. But at the end of the day, we were able to at least pilot it with, like we have said, 500 students. And at the end of the day, it went well.
The conference included simulation sessions showcasing how multilingual resources for Gambian primary schools can be enhanced through freely available online toolkits used in teacher training. These tools were developed through international collaboration between the University of Education, CRED, King's College London, and the University of Sheffield. Demba Okan, representing the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, described the timing of the conference as ideal and reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to integrating mother tongue education in early learning stages. We also engaged Janneh Commission, Country Director of Future in Our Hands, the Gambia, and Ali Sow, Senior Lecturer and Head of the English Department at the University of Education, both of whom shared their valuable insights on the program.
I believe it will go a great way in helping push this national policy, this national education policy, the language policy in education, because we need the technical expertise for teachers to be able to learn how to teach local languages in class.
The hard copy part of the lessons were very much easy to use, but the challenge was with the soft copies, or where you need internet to connect. Sometimes internet connectivity is an issue.
The pilot program aims to bridge the gap between language and learning, ensuring no child is left behind due to language barriers. As the Gambia pursues education reform, this initiative represents a crucial step toward creating classrooms that embrace and honor the country's rich linguistic diversity. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
From that story by Loli M. Kamara, we will now go for a short commercial break. And when we return, we have more local and international news stories this day.
At Ajib Bank, we are more than banking. We build bridges that connect you to pivotal services every day. Do you have government bills to pay to the Gambia Revenue Authority, Comfort, KMC, or the Accountant General's Department? We've got you covered. From payment of customs and domestic taxes to GRA, payment of number plate and vehicle ownership transfer to Comfort, payment of property rates and business license fee to KMC, and payment of MR passport, business registration, fishing license, land fees, sale of assets, lease application, development permits, quarrying royalties, gravel and sand, mining royalties, and a host of other revenue lines to the Accountant General's Department. Walk into any of our branches nationwide and make your payments hassle-free. Either in person or online. Simple, secure, and immediate. With Ajib Bank, there is no need to worry about government bill payments for your vehicles, taxes, licenses, business registration, and any other revenue line. Ajib Bank, passionate about your investment. We've got you covered. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Janneh Commission. The network of financial and tax reporters, in collaboration with the Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, organized a training session for journalists on Thursday to enhance their understanding of the organization's operations and its ongoing digital transformation initiatives. Our Bob tells us more.
The training covered key aspects of SSHFC's operations, including its Federated Pension Scheme, National Provident Fund, Housing Finance Fund, and Industrial Injuries Compensation Fund, It also highlighted the cooperation digitalization drive aimed at transitioning a new social security management information system. Musa S. Sharif, the managing director of the Voice newspaper, emphasized the critical role of social security in fostering national development.
People need to be daily informed on the work of social security. You get in there, you pick the information. There are some people in this country that don't even know their benefit of pension. There was a case one time, which sometimes they take us to be a lawyer, the media house. Even when two people are having case in court, you say, "Come, we are not lawyers. Our role is to report."
Speaking on behalf of the GPU president, Aliou Cisse of QTV highlighted the crucial role journalists play in raising awareness about social protection issues, bridging the information gap between institutions and the public.
Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation is one key institution that, we should always follow to know exactly, what they do. So what I mean here is that when we are covering these institutions, in this case, talking about, Social Security, for me, it should go just beyond, the routine coverage, just going to cover workshops and all those things. We should go deeper. Our reports will be in-depth, accurate, and of course, that's really context in what we report.
Abdullah Nyoke, president of the Network of Financial and Tax Reporters, shared insights on the training's objective.
The essence of the forum is to educate media practitioners on Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, regulation to improve their accurate reporting on social protection as SSFC mandates. The initiative aims to enhance public awareness about Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, role in national development and social protection through media sensitization.
Fabu Kanjai, Director of Communication and Corporate Affairs at Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, reaffirmed the institution's commitment to strengthening collaboration with the press, noting that informed reporting fosters greater trust and participation in national social security initiatives.
The media has an important role to play and be partners in terms of national development. And the corporation is pleased with this partnership and be rest assured that we shall reinforce this as we progress and continue to work together.
The training recognized the vital role journalists play in informing the public about SSHFC's operations and the benefits of its new digital system, which aims to enhance transparency and accountability within the cooperation. For QTV News, I am our Bob.
To strengthen operational efficiency and rapid response, the Gambia Police Force on Wednesday commissioned 25 patrol vehicles. The new fleet is expected to greatly improve the force's ability to expand policing coverage in both urban and rural communities. Our Bob again.
The new fleet, comprising 10 brand new Toyota pickups and 13 refurbished operational vehicles, is expected to improve mobility and enable rapid deployment, ensuring a stronger police presence nationwide. During the commissioning ceremony at the police headquarters in Banjul, Inspector General of Police Sidi Mukhtar Toure said a specific incident that prompted the procurement of these vehicles.
In the wake of the brazen attack on a commercial bank at Bruceby in January of 2025, there was a justifiable public outcry about the security situation in the country. Matters were worsened by subsequent robberies in Banjul and Farafenni respectively. We heard your cries and conferred at the senior management level to enhance our security posture to prevent the recurrence of such robberies. Meetings were held with senior bankers in the public and private sectors. It was realized that Gambia Police Force has personnel and arms to provide armed security guard for all private banks countrywide during banking hours. However, vehicles to transport the officers to their duty stations in the morning and return them to the barracks after close of business as well as spontaneous response to incidents of attack was a challenge.
The Inspector General also explained how the funds were mobilized to procure the vehicles.
A tripartite committee comprising of the Gambia Central Bank, the Gambia Police Force, and the Bankers Association unanimously agreed that private banks should pay a token amount to Gambia Police Force for armed security services. With guidance and support from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Accountant General's Department, an account was opened at the Central Bank of the Gambia for lodging the funds from private banks. This exemplifies the advantages associated to public-private partnership. It is always a win-win situation for all stakeholders. The banks and the people hard-earned cash is secured. Gambia Police Force continue to prevent crime, and citizens can go about their lawful activities without fear or care in the world.
The IGP urged the recipients to properly maintain the vehicles and call on the community to support the police in making their work easier.
It is our hope that vehicles will be used to patrol the length and breadth of the country to keep criminals away and reassure communities of their continuous safety. Therefore, I call on all communities to continue the good collaboration existing between them and the police officers serving in their various communities.
This fleet of vehicles highlights the vital role of logistics in modern policing and demonstrates the GPF's continued commitment to overcoming operational challenges through strategic investments in mobility and equipment. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
Now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. Nelson Mandela International Day, marked each year on 18 July, honors the legacy of South Africa's first black president, a prominent figure in the fight for peace, equality and human rights. As Usman Jatta reports, the day is more than just a celebration. It is a call to carry forward the values Mandela lived and sacrificed for freedom, dignity and justice for all.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in South Africa's Transkei region. Though apartheid was officially implemented later, Mandela grew up in a segregated society already shaped by deep racial injustice. He went on to lead a lifelong struggle against racial oppression, spending 27 years in prison before emerging not with vengeance, but with a vision of reconciliation and unity. As South Africa's first democratically elected president in an election where all races could vote, he became a global symbol of courage, forgiveness and leadership rooted in principle.
To the millions of my compatriots and those in every corner of the globe.
In 2009, the Nelson Mandela Foundation introduced Nelson Mandela Day, which was later adopted by the United Nations that same year, with the first commemoration happening in 2010. The day encourages people around the world to dedicate 67 minutes, with each minute denoting the number of years Mandela spent in public service to helping their communities. This year's theme, "It is still in our hands to combat poverty and inequity," reinforces the idea that the work Mandela started is far from over, and that the responsibility to create a fairer, more compassionate world lies with each of us. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described Mandela's life as a beacon of hope and resilience, saying, just as Madiba's life was a triumph of human spirit, his legacy is a call to rekindle our global commitment to peace, justice, and human dignity. Mandela Day is observed worldwide through cleanup drives, educational programs, volunteer initiatives, and community outreach, efforts that honor his legacy and aim to uplift those most in need. From Africa to Asia and across the Americas and Europe, people unite in reflection and action, guided by Mandela's timeless values of justice, dignity, and equality. As Mandela reminded the world, it is in your hands to make of our world a better one for all. Osman Jatta, QTV News.
Well, that is all we have time for in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.